All right, let's get into it. Today we're talking about emotional selling, sophistication levels, and how it relates to pre-call sales assets. I know that's a really exciting title. Let's get into it. This is for B2B services, higher level B2C or lower level B2C as the biz ops, as they call them, especially if anyone ever refers to anything as marketing fluff. That's what we're talking about today. How to actually sell your prospects before the call without some bullshit, fluffy marketing jargon. So context, this makes the assumption that your prospect has sophisticated past their very first attempt or their very first sales call. Maybe they've heard of these programs or services in the past. Maybe they've been on a sales call. Maybe they've tried it themselves, or they've even purchased a program, right? They've been in the market. They've been speaking to competitors. They know about it. They just want to know why you are better or different. And so if they are in that buying journey, then it's pretty ineffective to sell them on a very emotional level. And when I reference like an emotional sale, I mean like the NEPQ shit, right? It's like, oh, what's going to happen if nothing changes, right? What's going to feel like to spend more time with your family and make 10K a month? If they're already in that stage of their buying journey, they've already kind of made the decision that they're looking to do it. They know they want to do it. They're just trying to find a competent company. I'll make future videos on how that pertains like the sales call itself. We're talking about what happens between when they book the meeting and before the call and how to pre-sell them. Really good example of this. I sold a lot of PR. I tweeted about it. We're doing like 6-figure packages to a lot of like Instagram celebrity types. So I use it as an example. I think it's a very good one. It's two very different sales. If you're selling PR to someone who's never really considered PR up until now, and then you are selling them the idea of PR, right, for the first time. They probably don't know much about it. You have to sell them on the core concept of it. That is very different than when you are selling PR to someone who's worked with a company before. They're speaking to different companies. Maybe they had a few articles and nothing really came of it. And now you are selling them on the unique aspects of your PR and how you can actually make it work for them this time. So let's use a BizOp example. Say you're selling a copywriting course to someone who works a 9-to-5, right? They've never really done it. They want to make money online. They want to escape the matrix, right? You would be selling them the idea of being a copywriter, right? That's a very different sell. If someone's on the call, they've already been a copywriter, right? Maybe they have a couple clients. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to make it work. They're obviously still in the market for it. They're on a sales call with you. And now you're selling them on the unique aspects of how your course will actually help them become a better copywriter, make more money as compared to competitors' programs, land more clients, make 10K a month, whatever it is. And so I think the conventional misconception after working with like dozens of different offers, running a sales process, managing it, whatever, writing VSLs for them, almost every single offer only has like one specific process that's catered to complete beginners. And the VSLs, the sales assets, the pre-call PDFs, if they send anything beforehand, it's often very fluffy because it's assuming that someone's kind of an idiot. They don't really know what they're talking about it. And they just have to use that emotional, fluffy marketing jargon like financial freedom and spend more time with your family because like that's the sophistication level you think you're hitting people at. And I think it is very ineffective at selling more sophisticated buyers who are further along in their buying journey, right? So if someone's already purchased a program in the past, you don't need to emotionally sell them on making some sort of major life decision because they've already done that. Now they're just looking for a competent person to get the job done, which they had failed to do in the first program they bought. And so if they're already sold on the concept, they just want to know why they should go with you. And so in my opinion, that's a much more logical sell. And they've done the emotional stuff. Now they just want to know what's the offer, what's the guarantee, what are the results? But most importantly, how is this different from what I already did? Or how is this different from what everyone else is doing? How is this different from everyone who sends me a cold email? How is this different from every other ad that I see about the same thing? Why would it actually work this time? And most importantly, almost, why didn't it work for me last time? To use the PR example, if someone came to us and they already had a handful of articles, but nothing really came of it, they're still kind of interested. That's why they're on a sales call. You need to close them on why it didn't work before. So I'm like, okay, where'd you get the articles? Let me pull them up. Let me see them. Understand every single aspect of it. And me as the expert, as the one selling PR, I should be able to identify why it was ineffective, why it didn't work. So when I'm selling my thing, I can immediately articulate, this is why yours didn't work. And I have a sales argument prepared as to why ours is better and why you're not going to run into the same problems. Oh, and here's hundreds of case studies of it working exactly how I'm saying it. But the problem is I would say 99% of the offers still run some emotional fluff beforehand, where even if the prospect did consume, a VSL, a pre-call video, whatever you want to call it, they still wouldn't know what you actually did, right? you think of like a VSL, at least for me, I think of like the most biz op examples in the world, and then saying, oh, it's just like you one day. They try to pull on those emotional strings, telling them to imagine life on a beach, making passive income, spending more time with their family, and then doing that cost of inaction shit. Like, what if nothing changes? And of course, the urgency, the scarcity. The problem with this is once you are selling to someone further along in their buying journey who has an above room temperature IQ, they're just going to tune this out and they're going to come to the call, if they do show up, irritated that you wasted their time. And so by the time you're on a sales call, you wasted valuable time in progressing that buying journey. And so when they're on the call with you, they're very cold and it's a difficult sell. And so while me complaining about it is great, let's talk about the solution. For every offer that we'll work with, basically what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll say, hey, who are all the different people that get on your sales call? Maybe it's a trading offer, it's a biz offer or something. It's like, all right, cool. You're teaching people to be a trader. Do you get people on the funnel, on the calls with you who are already traders looking to improve? I swear half the time it's like, yeah, honestly, it's like 50-50. Yet the VSL, the sales process, the script, the pitch, everything is only catered toward complete beginners. Again, I'm going to get into how you can do this on the actual sales call, but for the purpose of this video, this is how to pre-sell them with the sales assets. The best ways to go about this and what we've already done is essentially, number one, you could do a quiz funnel and say, hey, when they fill out the form, ask them a couple questions to basically let them identify themselves. And when you do, you can just automatically send them a different sales asset that is not saying, oh, what's going to be like to be, to use a trading example, to be a trader and spend more time with your family. It's all right, cool. You're a trader. You're not seeing the results that you get. Here's exactly how we have a better system, a better strategy, whatever it may be, versus what you probably tried in the past. And the more you can speak to that sophistication level, the more they're going to resonate with it, the more they're going to be pre-sold, and the more they're going to think, you know what, maybe this is exactly what I need. Because if you just fluff them up with the same stuff that everyone else is using, they'll probably just see it and they'll think, oh, it's the exact same thing I tried last time. They're just trying to get me to be on a beach, spending more time with their family. They're going to think it's bullshit. They might just not show up to the call. Sorry for that rant. Calendly routing. It's the same idea, right? Let them fill out a form. Depending on their answers, you can send them different content. You can also just do this manually, sending messages through DMs. Like, I've helped with different offers. They have like DM setters. They'll ask them a couple different questions. Half the time before we came into it, the questions didn't matter because it changed nothing. Again, that's just fluff, right? You're just asking questions because you think you should. But if you can ask questions, identify like, oh, the industry of their business, right? Say you're doing something in real estate. If you have a couple different examples, they say, oh, they're brand new to real estate, send them this to sell them on the idea of getting into real estate. If they've been in a while, they have a couple properties, great, send them something more catered toward the strategy, the systems they use, and how they can help someone with a couple properties exponentially scale their business. Setter call, same idea. If you're speaking to a human, they can actually ask those questions, and then on the call, they can understand where they're at. They can give them a little bit of a riff and then send them the specific sales asset that is going to meet them at their sophistication level. And then in between the time that the setter call happens, they fill out the quiz, they fill out the funnel, they go through the Calendly, whatever it may be, you are putting correct assets in front of them that, you guessed it, meet them at their specific sophistication level. And one of the most important aspects of this is just using language that will actually incentivize them to consume it. I see so many people make mistakes of like, this is your pre-call homework, like make sure to watch this before the call. If not, we're going to cancel it. Like, no one's going to do that. The best way I found to do it is just sending a message like, hey, here's a full breakdown of everything we do, right? In the event they filled out a quiz, they filled out a calendar, they spoke to a setter. It's like, yep, no, you tried some stuff in the past, definitely get it. Here's a full breakdown of exactly how our strategy works and outperforms XYZ. Obviously, I'm speaking broadly because it could be a bunch of different offers, but hopefully you get the idea. And one of the biggest things I want to mention too, like while this is kind of like a standard VSL formula, the way in which you speak to them is very different. You know, I think for a beginner level biz op, you kind of speak to them at like a 6th grade reading level, kind of like they're a sad little puppy, and use big words and like financial freedom and escaping the matrix to hopefully excite them emotionally. I think if people are already further down their buying journey, I think that stuff's a lot more ineffective. And so the demeanor of this is a lot more straightforward. It's a lot more direct and to the point, right? And so while there's always going to be aspects like who you are, what you've done, your credibility, you really want to lean into points that are explaining the problem better than they can at, again, their exact sophistication level, how your solution fixes that exact problem and why it is unique. That's overcoming the objections of, oh, again, why is this different from everyone else sending me cold emails about this? Why is this different from everyone else doing ads? I've seen so many different YouTube videos about it. Why is yours better? Why is yours different? What you're essentially doing there is just making a very logical sales argument as to why yours specifically is going to work, as opposed to all the other garbage that they've seen. Of course, social proof of it working. But again, really what you want to hammer in at this point is how it actually works. be detailed, be direct, right? Deliverables of the program, explain the offer. And something I do in pretty much every offer that we manage now, we're very direct about price. Even sometimes from the ad itself, from the form we fill out, the setters will tell them the price. And so by the time they're on the closing call, they know about the price. Because what I absolutely hate, whether I'm reviewing sales calls or I'm taking the sales calls, if people get on the call, they're like, yeah, how much is it? And like the only reason they agree to a call is to ask for the price. Again, I vet those people out. I think it's unimportant. Let's get ahead of that. Let's show them exactly what it is. And what you are doing is pre-selling them. Again, speaking to them exactly where they're at, pre-selling them. And so to wrap up, right, they should be sold on the concept, the USP, and the actual offer itself. Since your prospects are already educated, they're now ready to be sold. Prospects come to the call educated on the basics. Your job as a sales rep would be to oversee a higher level conversation and actually build trust, right? You're trying to sell to people at the 50-yard line as opposed to the opposite end zone. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've worked with different offers, and it seems that every single one of them struggles to sell to people that are more sophisticated. They only have one process, they have one BSL, they have one script. The setters can't understand sophistication levels, and they just sell to them like they're complete beginners. You're missing out on a lot of opportunity to sell to more sophisticated buyers that are honestly, if you do stuff like this, you get it dialed in, way easier to close. So I'll wrap it up there. If you thought this was valuable, check out some other videos on this channel. Of course, follow us on social media. Go to closeandpaid.com. And of course, like and subscribe for more. Thanks.